Check out MMOGO if you're looking to buy cheap, reliable NBA Live mobile coins. Click the link in the description and use the code Bobby for 5% off. What's up, ballers? So if you are watching this video, you probably play NBA Live Mobile, and you probably also know that the NBA is coming up on the playoffs. We're actually finishing up the first round of the playoffs today, which means we're probably going to have a lot of really good new content coming, including players with special abilities. Now, one thing that I've noticed about every single special ability that we've had so far is that every single one has to do with scoring. So you got clutch ability, which is ability to make a shot in a certain area. You got the buzzer beater ability, which is you can make a shot anywhere on the court, which is cool, but it's very similar to the clutch ability. And then you've got the dunk ability. I'm not sure what the exact name of it is, but Shaq and Ben Simmons and who's the other one? Dennis Rodman has that one too. So they're cool abilities, and they definitely boost the value of a player, but there hasn't been a whole lot of variety in those abilities. So one thing that I think would be really cool is if we had some variety for different skills. So as of right now, the only skills that those add to are shooting and dunking, but there's so many different aspects to the game. So you got passing, you got ball handling, you've got rebounding, blocking. We don't have any abilities for defense. So what I've done is I've come up with a few different ideas that I think you guys will enjoy, and hopefully you guys think it's a good idea. Maybe EA could implement some of these. I think they would be really cool to see in the game, but we're gonna go ahead and jump in and take a look at them. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've been working on my Photoshop skills a little bit. I've got 3 different icons that could potentially be different special abilities. Now obviously these aren't perfect. For the past one, literally all I did was edit so it says perfect pass instead of regular pass, but I'll go ahead and explain my ideas for these 3, and then there's a couple other ones I didn't really know how to make an icon for that I think would still be really cool. So first we've got the block party. That one essentially would let you get a guaranteed block assuming you're within a certain radius of whatever player is shooting. So a guaranteed block, it would definitely be helpful if you're coming down to the end of the game and you have the lead, but it's only by 1 or 2, and you need to know that you're gonna get a stop on defense. That would be like a guaranteed block. So players like, I think this would have actually fit really well for the new Dennis Rodman card, considering he was known almost exclusively for his defense. It would have fit really well for him just because it fits to the way he plays. Not that he can't dunk, but that wasn't like the main aspect of the way that he played. And I think it would be cool to see like highlights for defense, because defense is half of the game of basketball, so you can't just ignore defense the entire time. I think it would be really cool. Next up, we've got the ankle breaker ability. So I kind of thought of this the other day whenever I made that video. I broke John Wall's ankles with Brandon Jennings, but I thought it was interesting. It's really cool whenever you do it, but it's like so rare. That's probably the first time, maybe the second time I've ever broken somebody's ankles in a game. Not that it happens all the time in the NBA, but it happens sometimes. And I mean, it's pretty cool to watch. I think an ankle breaker ability would be really, really cool, especially for players with really good ball handling that might not be great at shooting or great at dunking. So especially players, not that Isaiah Thomas isn't great at shooting, but he has really good ball handling. Also players like John Wall, who does, on the other hand, posterize people all the time. But I think especially for point guards, it would be really cool because most of the skills that we have right now, the dunking and the shooting, lend more towards shooting guards and big men. So for the ankle breaker ability, basically what it would do is it would charge up, and then at a certain point, you automatically break somebody's ankles. So it would help in getting the basket pretty much, especially if you're inside the paint, it's an automatic get to the basket. Now, obviously, it's pretty easy to get to the basket as it is, so it might not be as useful just in gameplay as a clutch ability or a buzzer beater ability, but I do think it would just be a cool thing to be added to the game. And then we've got the perfect pass ability. So what I think this would be really useful for is at the end of a game, you need, say you have like 1 second left, so you don't have any time to dribble down the court. Basically what this would allow you to do is make a perfect full court pass without dropping the ball. So typically if you make a full court pass, there's like a 99% chance that you're gonna end up dropping the ball or turning it over. Something is gonna go out of bounds. And it's really annoying, but what this would allow you to do is at the very end of the game, throw it down the court, perfect pass to a player that's wide open, and have that chance at getting the last shot. And I think it's a little bit more realistic too, because the buzzer beater ability especially is not realistic at all. Like, there is no situation where somebody's just going to be able to run to the backside of the court and make a full court shot from the opposite corner. Like, I think this would be a realistic ability, and maybe even something you could add like 2 or 3 times per quarter, as it's not quite as overpowering as the clutch ability or the buzzer beater ability. I think it would be a really solid addition. This is another really good one for point guard, so I think it would be really cool if this one was added. The next ability, I don't have an icon for it, but I think it would be really cool, is I would call it the Glass Crasher ability. So basically, it's an ability that you have to charge up, but then after a certain period of time, essentially anytime your player is in the paint, if you've pressed that button, he automatically gets the rebound. So it would be really, really helpful for the small ball lineup. I know that I personally get annoyed all the time because for some reason my small ball lineup gives up ridiculous amounts of offensive rebounds. Now, I know part of that has to do with rebounding ability, and because it's a small ball lineup, it doesn't lean more towards rebounding, but I think having an ability like that would also highlight players that don't do a whole lot outside of play defense and rebound. So this would pair up really well with the block party ability. If you've got guys like DeAndre Jordan who are solid basketball players, but really all they do is catch alley-oops, block the ball, and rebound. So I think it would do a good job of highlighting the rebounding aspect of the game. That's another thing that EA has kind of ignored in developing the game, and I think it would definitely help out those players, give them an opportunity to be highlighted even though their skills might not be as flashy as some of the other players. And then the fifth ability, I'd already thought of this, but I was trying to think of a name that would go well with it, and I think the best phrase to explain it is the cookie jar ability. So typically whenever I get a steal in NBA Live Mobile, I'll say give me your cookies, which a lot of people think sounds really stupid, but essentially like taking the ball from them, taking a cookie out of the cookie jar. I don't know, it's probably a terrible name for it, but I think it'd be really cool. It's a lot like the block party ability, where basically you automatically can get a steal. So especially at the end of the game, or in live events, I know especially for the NBA Ruler event, if you are like one thing away from what you need in order to complete the live event, and then you want to get the ball, but essentially the opponent is just dribbling out the clock and there's not really anything you can do, this would be super, super helpful because of basically it would allow you to automatically get the ball back and potentially finish that live event as soon as possible. So obviously this would probably have a slower charge up time, or a quicker charge up time than like a clutch ability or buzzer beater ability, because it doesn't give you automatic points, but it gives you an automatic possession essentially. So as long as you're like guarding the person, if you press the give me your cookies, the cookie jar, whatever you want to call it ability, it would give you the opportunity to automatically steal it and try to finish off that live event. Or, I mean, it's still useful for head-to-head or season games or whatever you're doing, but especially in that scenario, I'm thinking of all the times that I've been frustrated. The player just basically sits there and dribbles, and you can't get the ball because you're like smashing the steal button, but for some reason they've decided they want to dribble out the clock. So those scenarios, I think it would be super helpful. If there are any other special abilities that you guys think should be added to the game, make sure to comment those down below. I would love to see those, and if you're good at Photoshop and want to send me some ideas for different icons, you can tweet those to me at BobbyBucketsYT. We're going to see if we can hit 400 likes on this video, so hope you guys did enjoy. As always, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys next time.